Hello and welcome back. I'm your darling little narrator, and I will be taking you back down the road of the Action Storybook Bible in this episode. But before we can get started, I've got to do a little bit of housekeeping. Okay? And what that means is if you have not subscribed to this channel, I'm inviting you to do that right now. I'm opening the doors. And while you're there subscribing, I want you to go ahead and click the bell. That way, every time we post a story, a new story, you'll get a notification and you'll know about it the moment we post, okay? And if you like a story that's being read to you, go ahead and smash that like button. Let the world know you like it, okay? Now, if you're ready, we can get started. Sit back and relax. The name of this story is called From Favorite to Forgotten to Favorite. And this story is based on Genesis chapters 37 and chapters 39 through 46. Remember Abraham? God made a covenant, a promise, with him and all his family who came after him, that he would be their God and they would be his people. One of those relatives was Abraham's grandson named Jacob. Jacob had many sons, 12 in all. He made something very special for one of them. Can you guess which son he gave it to? Was it the oldest son, Reuben? Was it the youngest son, Benjamin? It was Joseph, the second youngest. His father gave him a beautiful coat of many colors. Joseph wore it all the time. Yes, Joseph was the favorite son. There was no doubt about it. Joseph's brothers were jealous. In fact, their anger burned against him. They couldn't stand him. Joseph told them that someday they would bow down to him. Nothing could be further from the truth, they all thought. There was no way they would ever do that. One day, Joseph was out in the field watching over the family's flock of sheep, and his brothers decided to put an end to him. They ripped his beautiful coat from him, and then they threw him down into a deep pit. Joseph's brothers decided to sell Joseph as a slave rather than leave him to die in the pit. Traders were traveling through the area on their way to Egypt. The brothers waved down the traders, and the men paid 20 shekels, about $160 for Joseph. The traders took Joseph away to Egypt. And Joseph's brothers thought that was the last time they would ever see him. The brothers tore Joseph's robe and put blood on it, so it looked like a wild animal had attacked Joseph. They brought the torn and bloody coat to their father, and his heart was broken. Meanwhile, Joseph and the traders had arrived in Egypt, and Joseph was offered up for sale again. A man named Potiphar bought Joseph. Potiphar was an important official who worked for Pharaoh, who ruled over Egypt like a king. God was with Joseph, and he did an outstanding job at every task Potiphar gave him. So Potiphar gave Joseph more and more to do. Soon, Joseph was in charge of Potiphar's household and everything Potiphar owned. Potiphar's wife thought Joseph was handsome, and she wanted him to spend time with her alone, just the two of them. Joseph knew this meant trouble and wanted to get away. So he ran out of the house. He wanted nothing to do with her. This made Potiphar's wife mad, and she lied about Joseph to her husband. She twisted the truth to make Joseph look like the bad guy. Potiphar believed his wife and threw Joseph in jail. But God remembered Joseph again. Even in jail, Joseph kept his faith in the Lord. Everyone who knew Joseph could easily see that he was extremely talented and blessed by God. Prisoners came and went, but Joseph stayed in prison for a long time, for years. Then one day, Pharaoh's baker and his cupbearer were also thrown in jail. Even though it took a long time, eventually the cupbearer got out of jail and worked for Pharaoh again. He told Pharaoh about Joseph, and Joseph got out of jail too. Joseph helped Pharaoh prepare for a famine that was coming, when there wouldn't be enough food in the land. God had told Joseph about this in a dream. Sure enough, the famine came as Joseph had predicted. It spread to all the land, even to Joseph's family. His brothers traveled to Egypt in search of food. They didn't recognize Joseph, but he recognized them. Finally, Joseph burst out with the news that he was their brother. And can you guess what happened? His brothers bowed down to Joseph, just like he said they would long ago. Soon, the rest of Joseph's family moved to Egypt. When Joseph's father saw him, his heart broke again with joy. Well, that ends our story. I hope you enjoyed it. This story, God was with Joseph every moment of his life. Joseph lost his family and then his freedom. First, when he was sold as a slave, and then when he was put in jail. But over and over again, God remembered Joseph and helped him to succeed. Well, until next time, young readers, I am your little darling narrator. Out.